Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Sorry about the delay. A lot of things happened this morning. One, I worked out this morning, and I needed just a little bit extra time, mainly because life hasn't been going very well the last couple of days. So I just needed that extra boost. And working out is definitely one of the things that helps me to relieve a whole lot of stress, to kind of get the blood flowing, and just to make sure that I overall feel well. So this episode is definitely going to hit a lot of things that people feel uncomfortable about. Depression is never a subject that should be taken lightly. But I wanted to do this because, just like the last live podcast I did talking about anxiety, I just felt like this one was just needed. Okay, so let's go back 2 years ago. So when I had my loss, I was hit hard. It was something that obviously wasn't expected. And I just fell pretty much flat on my face. At first I felt very numb, and then I just got really, really angry and then sad. Now, depression is defined as a common and serious medical illness that affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. Fortunately, it is also treatable. Depression causes feelings of sadness and or loss of interest in activities once enjoyed. It can lead to a variety of physical problems and can it can just cause you not to want to be around anybody, be around work, anything like that. So that's really how I felt. I didn't take a whole lot of time off from work. I kind of just took a weekend and then went straight back into work. And I feel like that was really start of my journey trying to handle my sadness. I didn't really handle it very well at first. When I think back on those times and that area in my life, there was a period of time where I didn't want to get out of the bed. And that's not how it looks all the time, but that's how it started. I didn't want to get out of the bed. I didn't want to do anything. Sorry about that. I didn't want to get out of the bed. I didn't want to do anything. My sister, I remember Star Wars, the first one, the first new one, I guess, came out. And my sister came home and she forced me out. She said, "You need to get out of the house, out of the bed." So that's what she did. She yanked me by my arm and said, "You're getting out of the house." And we went to go see Star Wars. And I had a good time. I'm not going to lie. It was very good. But after that, the sadness came back on. So I had moments where the sadness was lifted. But in the end, at the end of the day, when everybody's asleep, when everybody leaves you alone, nobody's texting you, nobody's calling you, that's when it fell back on me. I'm sorry you can hear my neighbors. I'm not usually home at this time of day. I took the day off and never really realized how loud my neighbors are. So if you hear them walking around, I apologize. Where was I? So yeah, it always fell on me at the beginning. It fell on me at the end of each day. Now, 2 years later, I still struggle with it. sadness really hits home to me quite often. I really haven't managed to figure out a way to combat being happy and not allowing others to suck that from you. I really haven't, to be perfectly honest, I really haven't managed to find a way to not let that happen. My job is very stressful, as I'm sure a lot of people's are, but every day I am cussed out, every day I'm yelled at. It's never ending. And every day I'm told to kind of act like a robot. Anybody that knows me knows I am not a robot. I tend to go off of my emotions, which is not really good to do. And I know that. Trust me, I get annoyed with myself. I say that a lot. So again, those who know me know I say that a lot. But I do struggle at work to find that balance to find a place to get in my head to where I'm happy and I know who I am. I know I'm not a bitch like I'm told at work, or I'm called. I know I'm not stupid like I'm told. I have to get to a place where that doesn't affect me. Right now, though, I struggle. And the first time I scheduled to do this podcast, I was in a very bad place. And so I pushed it off, hoping that I would come out of it. And I did for a little bit. I have my ups and downs. But the last couple days, though, I can't say days, it was yesterday and today. I kind of wasn't really in a good place. It was just a lot of things that happened. And so I thought about, well, I can push it again. But the thing is, there are a lot of people that have told me they were excited about this. They wanted to hear me speak about this. So I couldn't push it off for you all. And I feel like it is good to kind of be in the place where you're not well either when you speak about this, because it makes sure that you're real and the things that you talk about are real. And this topic is a very serious one. And it has hit home to me so hard. So at my lowest point, I remember I was sitting in my room, in my bed, and I was crying. And I just had my surgery, which I had a DNC, which if you don't know what that is, it is when they remove a lot of tissue after a miscarriage. They just take it all out. The child, tissue, everything. They take it all out. After that, I felt very empty inside. At one point, I was carrying life. I was carrying hope. I was very happy about it. I was scared out of my mind because this was not in my 5-year plan. But I was excited nonetheless. And to have that taken from you and then to wake up and know that there's no longer that hope, no longer that life inside of you, I just felt empty. And my mom actually took pictures. Don't ask me why. My mother is kind of special. She took pictures of me afterwards, and I was asleep, and I just had this look, and I just knew I was just empty. So after that, I was in my room at one point and I was crying, and I just wanted the sadness to stop. I wanted the thoughts to stop. I just wanted the what ifs to stop, and the feeling of guilt and all of that to stop. So I had a journal at the time, and I wrote the password to my phone out. I wrote down all my passwords to Facebook, Instagram, all of those. I wrote the address to my job down, who to talk to, just all important things that my family would need if I was gone. And then after all that was done, I took some pills off the side of I think either they were in the bathroom or whatnot. Anyway, I took some pills in my hand, and it was the whole jar poured into my hand. And I looked at them and I stared at them, and my grief was so palpable that I could feel the pills sliding down, and I hadn't even taken them yet. It was that real. I just wanted to sleep forever. I didn't want to think. I didn't want to feel anything. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to sleep. I wanted to be numb. And I really don't know to this day what caused me to put all of those pills away. I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm grateful because I had everything planned out. I wrote a note to my mother, so that way she knew to look in that book to find all my passwords, to let everybody know it wasn't anybody's fault. It's not that they couldn't reach me. It's just I wanted to go. It's that real. Being sad, grieving, it is that real. Another time, I got home from work, and it was on a Friday. And at that time, I lived an hour and a half away from where I worked. So I had a lot of time in the morning and in the evening to think. And now this was after the pill issue. So I said, since I couldn't kill myself, then I was going to drink, and drink heavily. So, but I was cheap, so I went and bought wine instead of liquor. And I got a really, really, really big one, and I drank the whole bottle. And I just kept drinking and kept drinking and kept drinking and kept drinking and kept drinking. Because again, I wanted to be numb. I didn't want to think about how big I would be at that point, about how many weeks I would be, about what I would be feeling at that point, about how much of a failure I was. I didn't want to think about any of that. I just wanted everything to stop. So I drank. And I drank, and I drank, and I drank, and I drank. I didn't know that I was that drunk, that I was really, really, really drunk, until I had woke up just to puke. My mom was in her room, so she didn't know. Nobody knew. I was alone, and I made sure that nobody knew. That period of time was very low. I wanted to keep that part of myself hidden. Everyone around me could tell I was sad, but they didn't know how deep it went. And it wasn't until later on that I actually told them, and my mom cried. I went to therapy, and I told her everything that I had done, and she actually said it was good that I wrote notes and that I wrote all that stuff down, because it let her know that I thought of others. So it wasn't just me alone, that I thought about my family. So she actually said that was good.